Hello, everyone. We are live. I am so excited. Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Marie Eard with Campus Bound GPS October Tips. And I am super excited to be presenting tips to you, parents and students, helping you navigate the college application process and just doing the thing for 6 days. This is day 6. Like I said, I'm excited. We've been talking about mindset these last couple of days. We spoke to the parent mindset. I provided you information for students, the five part one of the 5 C's to a college bound mindset, campus bound mindset. Let me repeat that: the 5 C's to a campus bound mindset. And today we're going to further the conversation about mindset with a friend who has been with me since day one, year one. Let me say year one. Year one. I remember being nervous. I remember saying, "Hey, I'm trying to do something. Can you speak on this topic?" And let me just say this. So, Campus Bound GPS has a framework dealing with mindset, awareness, and preparation. It's the map so that you can navigate. So, mindset, awareness, and preparation. And before I introduce my guest today, he is one that I go to when it comes to speaking to students about mindset. So I am really excited to have him here today. I appreciate the dedication. All I have to do is pick up the phone and say, "Hey, are you going to do it this year?" And it's always a yes. So I am really excited about this opportunity. So I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Mark Wiggins, motivational speaker, coach, and editor-in-chief of Off the Bench magazine. Hello, Mark.
Hey Lisa, how are you today? How are you? How are you? Everybody out there in campus bound GPS land, what is good?
All is good. All is great. Uh, we are here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to our audience. Let them know who you are.
Hi audience, I am, as you heard, Mark Wiggins, speaker man. I am a author, motivational speaker, coach, CEO, and editor-in-chief of Off the Bench magazine, which is my latest venture. We'll talk about that in a second. I specialize in working with people to get them off the bench, whether it's mindset, whether it's business coaching, whether it's life coaching, and then definitely how to put your message together and use your message to help deliver the concept, ideas, or products that you're trying to sell or grow and do whatever you want to do. A vast experience of stuff over the years. I think Lisa's a little bit older than me, so I don't have as much as she does, but I'm right behind her. I'm right in my bio. What you're not gonna do is stop me. So anyway, I have background in sports. I went to college, which of course y'all probably want to know because this brother Kenny talked about college. Kenny talked about school. Absolutely. I went to University of Alabama in Huntsville. I was on a full athletic scholarship. So I went through the whole recruiting process, which is basically how Lisa started this whole thing in the first place, helping her children through the athletic process and then recognizing that other parents and kids needed more information on how to get through college and through the process, period. Athletes are not. And that's kind of how this was birthed, if I'm not mistaken. And played in college, got 2 degrees, graduated, moved to the DC area in 93, and I have been here ever since. So the work that I do now is in this vein of educating and motivation and talking and helping people get to where they want to go. So that's what I'm talking about tonight, and that's what we're going to be moving into to give you some tips and tricks that you won't get anywhere else unless you've been dealing with Lisa and her program. How's that?
I like it. I like it, except for the part that I'm older than you. That is so not true. That
Are
is
you
definitely
sure?
not true. I
Do
am
I need to
very positive.
listen, do we need to pull the receipts out? I'm just saying. We need to talk about it.
No, no need to talk
All right.
about it.
Okay,
I know,
fine. Fine.
I know. But this is not about us. This is about our parents and our students who are going through the college application process, and they need a tip for tonight. So, Mark, what is your tip?
So, all right, here we go. Here we go. Buckle up. I'm not gonna be long, but I will be brief. Um, one of the things I want to talk, the 3.5 things I want to speak about tonight, 3.5 ways to making it count. And this is going out to the parents and to the students who are listening because it's going to involve both of you because it is a process, it's a joint venture, if you will, on getting your child to the next level. Whether it's going to community college, four-year institution, trade school at this point, where it seems to be a nice avenue for a lot of people. Don't overlook the trades. Get wherever you got to go. There's some things that you need to do while you are in high school, while you're having the opportunity to make an impact and prepare yourself to get ready to go to the next level. It may not seem like a lot. It may not seem that what you're doing is insignificant, but I'm here to tell you today that whatever you're doing is highly significant if you learn how to position it right, if you learn how to take advantage of things, and then you learn to have it work in your favor. There's a lot of different stuff. When I came out of high school a while ago, there was a lot of different things. Long time ago, decades. I didn't necessarily, let me be clear, I wasn't the best player on my team. There was three of us. There was two other players better than myself. I didn't have the best GPA. I was that dude that was right there, right there. I barely, pledge cap alpha psi fraternity incorporated, kind of just made the cut to get in. All those things meant absolutely nothing once I got into life and business afterwards. However, if you don't cross those hurdles early enough, you won't get to that level that you want to get to without a little bit more work. So taking advantage of things. I did a lot of different stuff. I was in school. I was captain of the basketball team. I was in band. I was in Ursha, junior Ursha at the church, in the Boy Scouts, junior class vice president, things of those nature. Those things mattered back in the day. And if I tell you the rest of my story, it's even more significant of how that went down, but we're not here for all that. Let me just tell you that what you're doing right now is important to where you want to go. Having an idea where you want to get to, having some thoughts on about right now. I got a lot of my employees and their kids are at that age now where the sophomore, junior-ish, starting looking for that next level of school, and they are like overwhelmed with what got to do. I don't launch two successful grown children out here working, and it was not easy, but a lot of work they had to do. So that being the case, I know we've been on a lot of different things on mindset, whatever, but I want to give you, I'm more in the preparation phase. I'm mindset preparation. Lisa sent out a little form. I was supposed to pick one. I couldn't pick one, so I picked two because
I never said you had to pick one.
Let's make
that straight. But it can't fall under.
Listen, I picked what worked for me. I picked two categories. We're on the mindset and preparation. Yeah, that's what we're talking about tonight. So no, okay. Maybe I did. So what? We're gonna go over these. We got these points right here that we're gonna talk about. And what it's all about right now, parents and students, is there's 3.5 things I want you to take away from this conversation tonight. Get your pencils out, write it down. Here it comes. Here we go. Number one. You need to learn to adapt and overcome. Someone needs to be writing this down. Adapt and overcome. Here's what I'm talking about. There's a mindset in the military where your environment, you're dropped into whatever you are going to do, whether it's training, whether it's the theater, the war theater, and things are happening around you. You have a couple of choices to make. You can run, you can not fight, you can be scared, you can be frozen where you are, or you can adapt to what's going around you and then overcome said situation and go achieve the objective. I'm saying to you, last year, you all those in school had to adapt to something that we ain't never ever seen. And that was have to go and do schooling from home. Some of people out there chose it as an opportunity to do less work and not do as much. And some actually thrived in the situation. I'm saying to you that if you need to understand this, we do more Zoom calling and talking and telecommuting and all that kind of stuff now than we've ever done before. And if you didn't learn that skill set, which you have an distinct advantage of us, that you have a skill set on technology than most of your older people that you know, that's something you need to adapt and take with you because it's maybe not changing anytime soon. If you didn't take advantage of it now, you won't be able to overcome it later. When you get to college campus or wherever, there's somebody who did take advantage of it, who did take the skills seriously and now are able to thrive in an area where you did not learn how to do. So whatever you're doing now in school, like we're back in school, we're wearing masks, and we won't get into the rest of these debates, but it is what we are. I'm simply saying, don't get caught up in all the minutia. Don't lose sight of the main goal. The main goal is to get the best grade possible, find the money, get out of there, and get on with your life with education. That's the main goal. And if you do anything other than that, you jump. Yes, ma'am.
No. Go ahead. Finish up your thought.
I lost it now. What are we gonna say?
Well, I was going to say great information because it sounds like you're talking about the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. So as a student, the fixed mindset is I'm used to being in the classroom. I'm used to doing the work. And when the pandemic hit, that's all I know how to do. So because this is a new environment, I don't really want to adapt to it. But the growth mindset accepts that there is a pivot, a shift, a change in what's happening, and we're going to adapt and make the best out of it so that you can be prepared for what is coming up next because we still don't know.
Right. You don't know. I mean, let's be clear. During the pandemic, there's so many millionaires that were made from at home, from going back to doing what they did as a kid to turn into a real side hustle business because they just had to figure out a different way to do things. People who hadn't sewn in 40 years found themselves making masks and making a killing and still are making a killing because they had a skill and they knew they had to adapt to overcome a situation that was presented to them. That mindset, wherever you go in life, is going to serve you well, right? You get to college, you get to leadership, you get into your business, your corporation. If you're not going to just, like Lisa said, if you're going to have a fixed mindset, then you will be left behind. There's nothing worse for a coach than to have an athlete who think he knows more or she knows more than him, and you nine. I don't, you know, that's just horrible that you think you actually know more and you won't want to learn. I'm not gonna have any time for you. The world is not gonna have time for those who are unwilling to learn and adapt to situations and overcome. So that's your first point. Number one, adapt and overcome. Here comes point number two. Use your unfair advantage. Use your unfair advantage. Watch me work. What I'm talking about is an unfair advantage. The unfair advantage is anything that you possess and can do that others cannot do. Now, the advantage only becomes unfair when you engage said advantage, right? If you don't engage your advantage, it is no longer an unfair advantage. It's just something that you possibly could do. Case in point, I sell a lot of Greek paraphernalia. You know, I told you, remember Kappa Alpha Psi, Fraternity Incorporated, best fraternity ever made in the world on the God's green earth. So I sell merchandise, paraphernalia to other sororities, right? So one particular sorority we have an affinity for, and they love the Kappas. They just love, love, love the Kappas. And I'm trying to build my relationships or whatever with them. I met with a mentor, and I told him my plan. I want to sell this, I want to sell this. And he said, Mark, stop. He goes, what is your unfair advantage? I had to pause. I mean, I'm from Jew. That's unfair. He said, no, that's not it. What's your unfair advantage? And then it hit me. It is the relationship, the inherent relationship between our two organizations that other organizations don't have. He says, that's your unfair advantage. You must use that to your benefit and work the angles, right? Use it. So I'm saying to you, what is it that you do better than most people? What skill sets do you possess that others don't have that you could actually thrive in? Use it to your advantage, whether it's paying attention, whether it's helping other people, whether it's teaching math or whatever it is. You know, maybe you're very creative. I know a lot of people are highly, highly creative. That will serve you well. That will serve you well, and it's an unfair advantage. My other unfair advantage, Lisa, outside of being a Kappa, is my ability to speak. My unfair advantage is my ability to communicate effectively on stage, on mic, wherever. Drop me in, turn on the lights, and I am good to go. Do you understand, people? Speaking is like right up there with death and dying. It's like number two things that people don't want to do. So I have to then use my skill set as my unfair advantage to get my leg up on what I got to do. And I have and continue to do. But you need to understand what your unfair advantage is. Learn it. Don't be afraid. Embrace it. Unleash it. Use it so you can get where you're trying to go. That make sense? You good with that, Lisa? You good with that? Any questions on point
That
two?
makes sense. So I'm just going to go back a little bit and just say, okay, so the unfair advantage is your talent. The unfair advantage is a gift or your skills, your abilities to do something that is uniquely to you. Because I always use and someone told me this back in the day. I can't remember who, so I don't want to attribute it to myself. This is somebody else, but someone said there are a lot of singers out there. Beyonce has her gift, her talent, and she attracts her crowd. If you possess the talent of song, you have your own audience, you have your own style, you have your own draw to make you hopefully you can make Beyonce money, but it's your talent, it's your skill, and you own it. So is that what I'm hearing?
That's exactly what you're hearing. Um, when you are embracing what you can do and who you are, that's your unfair advantage. If you embrace the fact that you are a shy person, right? I don't do this. I don't. But then what do you do? What will you do well? Okay, so the stage is not for you. You're an organizer. You're a finisher. You're a motivator in the background. Whatever that is, that's your unfair advantage. I'm encouraging all of you to use it right now where you are as you're moving through this process. Because when you get out the other side and come interview with somebody like me, I need to see your skill set. I'm no longer just looking at resumes and going, oh, you have the certificate. Oh, that's great. Because if you aren't able to communicate or talk, and I can't see anything, any signs of life when I'm talking to you, I have nothing for you. I have nothing for you. I go get somebody who has none of those certifications and has a willingness to work hard and do whatever. I'm going to get that person and give them opportunity over someone who's actually got it on paper.
Also, I want to connect some dots here. Yesterday, I talked about 3 of the 5 C's of a campus-bound mindset. One was consciousness, just really knowing yourself, being self-aware of who you are. So I feel like that speaks to what you're just saying. Also, clarity, having a clear mind or creating a clear statement. I call it the campus, the career GPS statement, really being able to articulate what you want, why, and really moving forward with that statement so that when someone like you comes up and says, hey, why do you want to go to this particular college? Or why are you interested in this particular major? You have clear, concise conversation. You have clear, direct conversation so that you never know what other doors can be opened. And I also included yesterday is consider the ... Consider the pluses, consider the minuses, considers the must-haves and non-negotiables. And I think all of that fits into using your unfair advantage because it is basically knowing you, getting to know yourself better and understand yourself better so you could speak to yourself better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so we got to point number 2, using unfair advantage. Here is the number 3. The number 3 is get the receipts. Get the receipts.
What does receipts mean?
Yeah, right. So for those who ain't here, who don't know, who ain't woke around here, let's just walk through what a receipt is. A receipt is what? Proof of purchase, right? It shows that you've actually have something, that you paid for something, you got it, and you paid for it. It's right here. Your receipts are your work, your body of work. When I'm saying go get the receipts, I'm talking about when you go fill out the application and write that letter and talking about what you did in school and how you led. I want receipts, y'all. I want to see what you did. Don't tell me what you did. Show me what you did. Point to it. When I was running this organization, we raised $2.5 thousand selling popcorn. I want the receipts because that's the only way that you can be able to prove who you are. How do you get the receipts? You get involved. You get involved. The organizations, whatever's on campus, at school, get involved. Don't just get involved and don't just register, be involved. There's a difference. I can be a part of a lot of stuff. We got a lot of shirt wearers out here that are not involved in the work of fraternity and sorority. Amen? Lisa? Yes, no?
Amen.
Right. Then we got a smaller amount of people out here who are more than the shirt wearers. They're actually doing the work of the community and work of what we started for, our work of our composite makeup of what we're trying to do in the community. They're doing the work. I have receipts. Mark, are you really involved with Kappa? I got receipts. Pole Mark organizations running this, running that, whatever. All that's back here. Have you ever had your own business? What do you know about business, Mark? And this is going to your street cred. Mark, what do you know about running a business? Do I know about it? I ran 2 of them, lost them all, and made a comeback. What would you like to know? Mark, you speak, you want to speak? Do you written books? Well, how many books you want me to write? How many more than 8 I need to write for you to understand I've written books? I got proof. I'm saying to you, everything you do right now in high school matters. It matters. Oh, get your grades, you're studying. Yes. But also, where's the band? Where is the art class? Where's the debate team? Where's the chess team? Where's the swim club? Where's the club that you started? What is the going on? Let's move out of school. What are you doing in the community? What's going on at church? You in the youth group? You speaking? You working for Habitat for Humanity? You picking up trash on the side of the road? You taking care of the elderly in the neighborhood? What are you doing? So when you have to fill those hours of community service, I need receipts. Get the receipts. Everything you do matters. Everything you do matters. I'll tell you a little story about how something so maybe not the norm actually helps someone achieve something major in their life, right? Just totally out of the blue. We'll get onto that one. Does that make sense, please? We're talking about get receipts. We clear on that?
We are. I do have a question.
Of course.
What advice would you give to someone who worked during their time when they're in high school and don't have the receipts to show that they were active in the community and so forth? What kind of advice would you give a person?
Uh, First of all, I'm gonna challenge you. Say if you're involved, you have the receipts. I'm gonna tell you, spend some time recapping and writing it down now. Go back to the event. What was it? What was your role in it? Did you show up? Go back to the organizers and say, hey, I remember coming here. I don't remember. I'm catching up on my writing for my letter for college. Can you remind me of what we did? Kind of forgot or whatever. Be honest about it. People will tell you this is what we did, this organization did, and this is what your role was in that. And
No,
you
no,
like,
I'm saying the young person who does not have any involvement at all, that during the years in high school, they worked after school. They have
oh,
no they have no involvement whatsoever. How do they
oh,
show their receipts?
okay. So here's receipts you have to show. You have to show a different type of receipt. Um, Here we go. Tell me what I did. Lisa, I'm explaining something to you. Tell me what I did. I learned during pandemic. I learned uh, supply chain. I understood customer service, time, timelines. Understand the value of branding and representing a company and a process. What did I do this time? What did I do during COVID? What did I
You
do?
built you expanded on your company.
No, I was DoorDash. I learned supply
Oh,
chain. I learned on-time delivery. I learned customer service. See what I'm saying? Those are all receipts. So when you go back and talk about it, you worked at DoorDash. Okay, so, but that's important. Don't downplay anything that you've done. If you're working, you got a different kind of receipt. If you're in school, you got another kind of receipt. It's still proof, y'all. Don't miss out and don't you dare downplay the time that you are giving to what you're working. Here's one story. So my son, right? My son Marcel, it's my only son. He his goal was to get into medical school, right? Get into medical school. Because of a friendship relation I have with one of the best pediatricians in Loudoun County, Healthy Kids, he was able to do not just a shadow. And I didn't know the difference. I thought he was going out to do an internship, hang out, shadow, meaning you don't do no work, you sit there and go, oh my God, that's nice. He actually did work. He saw patients, he learned charting, whatever. He tells me that his application to medical school, him saying that he actually worked and had receipts, put him a little bit further along for those who just shadowed when it came time to the evaluation package. I didn't even think that was a thing. So I know when I speak that whatever you're doing is going to translate. Just make sure you do what you're doing now and look at it from a different optic. Get with your parents, get with your mentor, get with your coach, Lisa, to help you work these things out. And don't be ashamed of what you're doing. Again, you learned a lot. You just don't know it yet. That's what the whole thing is about. You've learned a great deal. You just need to learn how to apply it to make it make sense for someone else who's looking at you from a different optic. How's that?
great advice.
All right, here comes the point five, and I'm almost finished. The point five, Mark, why do you always do half points? Because you won't forget it. You won't forget the half point. You'll forget everything else I just said except for this point. What's a point five? You mean 4? No, no, no. I mean point five. Here's a simple thing. And at least you kind of alluded to it. Begin where you are. That's the point five. You can start right now and stop losing time, or you can start tomorrow and lose more time. At some point, you just need to start. You just need to start engaging, writing things down, making the call, getting in to see the counselor, getting in to see your people at work, getting more skills at work, finding out they got money for school, finding out they got scholarships, whatever. There's certain organizations out there, these companies pay you to go to school. They'd rather keep you than lose you. So begin where you are. Doesn't matter. Today is the time. Now is the time, not tomorrow. Now is the time. We can't do anything about yesterday except learn from it. The only thing we can do about tomorrow is prepare for it, but you can't prepare for it unless you start right now. So point number 1, adapt and overcome. Point number 2, use your unfair advantage. Point number 3, get the receipts. The point 5, begin where you are. And let me tell you this quick story before I get off. This is about my son again. And this is about getting receipts and thinking that everything you do matters, right? It matters. This dude, and again, writing his letter to go to medical school. I don't know what he needs. He's writing his letter. He wouldn't even show me what he wrote. Wouldn't talk about it. He just wrote it. Come to find out that in his letter, he wrote about 2 things. He wrote about gaming He was a gamer. He wasn't a heavy gamer. Lies. He played all the doggone time. Wasn't any good, but he played all the time. And he loved it. That was a passion for him. He wrote about it. He wrote about how gaming and the game controller will actually help him in the robotic technology that they're actually doing now to help him. Okay, but here's what blew my mind. He wrote about rugby. Mm-hmm. He wrote about rugby and the concept of team and doing your part and whatever. Like, oh, I'm talking about basketball, football. He wrote it because he played. His write-up about what rugby meant as a learning tool, a principle, and how his role was, and understanding compassion of other people and doing this and the third was in his document that he submitted to Case Western Reserve and ultimately got in. Here's the funny part. When he got there, he met another dude. Would you care to guess what he wrote about? Gaming and rugby. Two people in medical school, after thousands of people getting in, there's only 216, I think 4,000 to 7,000 people applied and 217 got in, and two of them wrote about gaming and rugby. What's my point? The point is everything you do matters. Everything you do counts. Don't overlook it. What? For sure. What?
I am glad you told that story because one of the students that I coached this year, he's a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Really didn't do anything else but gaming, not rugby, not any sports. And when I asked him, because part of the consultation, questions is, well, what activities have you done? And in writing his essay, he was able to connect dots to, actually, he built his own PC, which is amazing to me. I thought that just blew my mind.
Yeah, and Marcellus did the same thing. Mm-hmm.
Pardon?
Marcellus did the same thing, built his own PC.
I think it's a gamer thing, mm-hmm. And just the mere fact that he took the skills, the talents that he used in gaming and connected it to his major was amazing. We had conversations, we talked about it. I can tell he was nervous when it came to writing his essay, but just having candid conversations, I was proud. I know his parents are proud as well. And they did not have a clue how he was going to connect the dots. But what I'd like to say to what you're saying is, again, everyone has skills, talents, abilities, capabilities, and it's all innate. And when it comes to applying for college, you have to really learn who you are and connect those dots so that you can make that transition to say, this major, this profession that I'm interested in is me. And this is why. And I can do it. Mm-hmm. And I think once you connect those dots and you make that realization, it also turns into motivation. So when you are in your major, in your college or university, you're going through those hard times, because we all fall on those hard times when we have that class. We're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through this? I don't want to have a bad grade, but oh my gosh, it's too boring. I had a teacher that when she spoke to me, all I heard was wah, 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 like Charlie Brown. And I was like, how am I going to get through this class? So when you have those classes, you're going to fall back on your characteristics, your values, your why. Mm-hmm. What got you here is what's going to keep you going. And you're going to need that little extra to keep you going. So I appreciate your tips for today. It's amazing.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. You're welcome. Anytime again. When we're talking about embracing ourselves, right? We're talking about being fully comfortable or working on becoming comfortable. I don't think you're ever fully comfortable with who you are. The poem "Our Greatest Fear," right? The greatest fear is talking about hiding your light. What good does it do the world for you to hide your little light? We need it. Don't worry about making me uncomfortable. I need you to be comfortable with who you are. So my encouraging word to the group out here listening is simply this: start working on embracing who you are and take it with you. So what, you're a gamer. Chances are you're going to be somebody's boss at some IT firm that they wish they learned how to play games with it earlier. You know what I'm saying? Embrace that. But again, what can you contribute? What can you bring forth that makes me want to hire you? And you're a gamer. Because in our skill sets, as you know, people are learning. Those kids flying drones from home as a little hobby are making millions of dollars flying drones across the country. It is a real thing, as we all know. But somebody had to learn how to do that. Somebody had to teach them that. You think there's probably some kid somewhere who's like, yo, That's not how you do it. You do it like this. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, boom, they got $1 billion business and they're making drones. It happens. I'm sure it happens a lot. Just like they told us about Bitcoin. We didn't want to listen. What's that coin a bit? A bite of a coin? No. Yeah, okay. Anyway,
Anyway, make it count, right? That's the bottom line.
Make it count. It's off and that's it. So that's all I got for you tonight. Thank you for having me on. And as always, I'll leave you with this final thought. If you can reach your dreams with a step ladder, then they're probably too low. I'm out.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, parents. Thank you, students who are looking on. I gotta say this. My assistant has been telling me I need to promote this better, and I've been doing a poor job. Campus Bound GPS is on YouTube, so please subscribe so that you can get notifications when we go live. And I'm just excited about this opportunity. So we're expanding our reach. We're making sure that everything is being heard, and the tips are out there. We just wrapped up day 6. So I just want to say thank you, Mark, for being on today. And this is Lisa Marie Eard with Campus Bound GPS October Tips saying good night and be safe.